Hey, everyone! Welcome back to the SOXL Challenge channel. It was a tough month for SOXL. At one point, SOXL plummeted by 66%. Yes, that's right, a staggering 66% drop in just 25 days. SOXL fell from a peak of $70 on July 11, 2024, to a low of $23.50 on August 5, 2024, even touching $21 in pre-market trading that day. Some investors feared a recession and sold their SOXL. I hope that didn't happen to you. Actually, this was a prime opportunity to buy the dip and apply DCA or EDCA strategies. In this rising market, last month was a great opportunity for you to buy expensive SOXL at a cheap price. Some people were forced to sell their SOXL, even if they didn't want to, particularly when it hit $23 because of margin calls. As discussed in our previous videos, I hope you're not using margin while investing in leveraged ETFs like SOXL or TQQQ. Simply put, do not borrow money to buy SOXL or TQQQ. It's the evening of August 30, 2024. In our last month's SOXL update, I mentioned that there's a higher probability that SOXL will rise for the remainder of 2024. I still think there's a higher probability that SOXL will rise in the remainder of 2024, though expect some volatility at times. First, let's dive into the technicals. On Finviz, SOXL dipped below the SMA 200 line on August 1, 2024, dropping to $23 before rebounding. It took 10 trading days for SOXL to touch the SMA 200 line again on August 15, 2024. Currently, SOXL is just below the SMA 200 line again. Let's look at this Yahoo chart. The Moving Average Convergence Divergence, MACD, shows a bullish crossover. The black MACD line crossed above the red signal line on August 13, 2024, which indicates a potential buy signal. This suggests that SOXL's momentum is shifting upwards. Let's check the Relative Strength Index, RSI. The current RSI is 49, and I think it will gradually rise to 70 or 80 before a pullback. Although these technicals are not crucial for our long-term SOXL investment, I just wanted to share this information. Now, let's briefly review why SOXL plunged last month. The significant decline from July 2024 to August 5, 2024, was primarily due to a combination of factors. 1. Market volatility. The semiconductor sector faced increased volatility, influenced by broader market conditions and investor sentiment. 2. Economic concerns. Growing concerns about a potential economic slowdown impacted high-growth sectors like technology and semiconductors. 3. Geopolitical tensions. Ongoing geopolitical issues, particularly related to trade and technology restrictions, added to the uncertainty and negatively affected semiconductor stocks. These factors collectively contributed to the sharp decline in SOXL's value. I also discussed the stock market correction in detail in our last video, TQQQ $1,000 Challenge, August 2024. As we discussed in our investing strategy, we might sell some shares of SOXL if a significant crash seems imminent. However, top experts I trust think there will be no recession for the next 6 months. This article from August 29, 2024, stated that the U.S. economy grew at a solid 3% annual rate in the last quarter, an upgrade from the initial estimate of 2.8%. This growth was driven by strong consumer spending and business investment. Consumer spending, which makes up about 70% of economic activity, rose at a 2.9% annual rate, while business investment increased by 7.5%, with a notable 10.8% rise in equipment investment. Despite high interest rates, the economy has shown resilience, and inflation continues to ease, with the Personal Consumption Expenditures (PC) index rising at a 2.5% annual rate. There's another interesting article titled "Recession Forecasts Have Been Wrong for Years." Here's why a perfect indicator doesn't exist. The article discusses the challenges and inaccuracies in predicting recessions. Despite various indicators like the leading economic index, the inverted yield curve, and the Sohm rule signaling potential recessions, the U.S. has not experienced one recently. The complexity of the economy and distortions from the global pandemic have made accurate predictions difficult. Economists, including Campbell Harvey, who created the inverted yield curve indicator, acknowledge that no perfect recession indicator exists. As discussed in this article, recession forecasts can be difficult. What should I do if I cannot predict a recession? For me, I will continue to invest monthly. These EDCA and DCA strategies are discussed in our previous videos. Now, let's get into our SOXL update. Today, SOXL is priced around $39, down slightly from last month's $41. Since the last report, I invested about $1,500, bringing my total investment to over $9,000. Usually, I invest only $500 a month in SOXL. The investment of $1,500 means that I invested 3 months' worth of SOXL in August. So, for the past 2 months of July and August, I invested 11 months' worth of SOXL. For the next 9 months, depending on price movements, I may buy much less SOXL if the price goes up. If the price goes down, I will continue to buy more SOXL. This EDCA strategy was discussed in the previous video titled Enhanced Dollar Cost Averaging, EDCA. If you haven't watched it, please do, as I invest in SOXL based on this EDCA strategy. Since our last update, I bought SOXL as follows. On August 1st, I bought 10 shares at $37, 11 shares at $35, 11 shares at $33, and 12 shares at $29. After buying SOXL at these low prices this month, I reduced my average cost per share to $42. I now have a current total return of -8% and an approximate loss of $700. Since starting in December 2023, we've been investing $500 monthly, aiming to accumulate $180,000 over 30 years. I envision this investment of $180,000 potentially growing to several million dollars. To recap, our challenge is guided by 4 key rules. 1. Monthly investment. Committing to invest around $500 in SOXL each month for 30+ years. 2. Enhanced dollar cost averaging, EDCA. Investing more during market lows and less during highs. 3. Sell before crashes. Selling if a major crash seems imminent, with plans to buy the dip later. 4. No margin trading. Avoiding borrowing money for trading. With this strategy, I'm optimistic about our journey ahead. As we navigate the ups and downs of SOXL and the broader market, I'll keep you updated with regular insights and updates. That wraps up our SOXL update for August 2024. Remember, this channel is for entertainment, and I'm not a financial advisor. I'm here to share my strategy, but it's crucial to tailor your investments to your own financial goals. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop your questions or thoughts in the comments. Happy investing, and see you next month.